Hi, welcome to Pure and Titus TV. We are here to talk about the Black America in America as a case of Israelites in Egypt. Tito,
Yes, Pure.
some time ago we learned that the black man was killed in America, and there are lots of upheavals came up, lots of protests came out. So what is your take about this scenario?
All right, that's an interesting question, especially with the recent happenings in the United States of America, which began with the killing of George Floyd. You know, it has been a thing of concern to reflect over it, especially with regards to what happened to the Israelites back then in those days when they were taken to Egypt. Yeah, that is into slavery. It is almost a synonymous case. It's almost a synonymous case because one, let's look at the reconciliation. One, Joseph was taken into Egypt as a slave, right? He was sold to Egypt by his brothers, right? Is that good? So why in Egypt Joseph became what? Famous. He was in charge of food stuff. And then all of a sudden, his brother, the entire family had to do what? To move towards Egypt. So when they moved to Egypt, they were so productive to the extent that, you know, the Egyptians themselves became afraid. These are the Hebrews. These are the Israelites. In our own land, you know, progressing so much. So they became so scared, so afraid that eventually those people will overthrow them and then take over the royalty and everything in the land of Egypt, in their own land.
It's quite challenging.
It's quite challenging. So they have to do what? Immediately after the death of their father Jacob, when they went for the burial, coming back, the Pharaoh that was there, then the king died. They brought another Pharaoh. Okay. And then from there they had to change everything. Every leadership was changed. So that was when they started planning that, oh, these Hebrews are becoming so increasing in population. So for them not to take over the land, our land, to take over the dominion of our land, to dominate over us in our own land, let's stop them from giving birth to male children. And that was why they initiated the idea of what? The killing of male children. That was exactly, not just firstborn, the male children. And that was exactly the time that Moses was given birth to. Moses was given birth to. Yeah. You have been hearing about pastors, men of God praying for, you know, pregnant women that they would deliver like Hebrew women. That's the experience. Yes. The Israelites women. Exactly. So these women were given birth to children in closed doors. That was when Jochebed gave birth to Moses, and he closed doors as well. He was taken towards the river banks from there, and then placed in the water over the watch of his sister Miriam. Yes. So eventually the whole thing began like, even with that command from the king Pharaoh, the Israelites were still there and they still gave birth to medicine, and they were increasing. So they became afraid. So it became obvious for them, and then they started doing what? Bringing some strategies that would subdue them. You know, they would press them under their dominion. And that was when it became so obvious. They started killing them, started giving them labor as slaves. And that's exactly what is happening in the United States of America now. Now, the blacks in America presently were also taken into what? Slavery in America.
During slave trade.
Exactly, during slave trade.
It's true.
If you have heard of people like Marcus Garvey canvassing for what? Back to Africa. Negritude, good. So to the extent that in Jamaica there was a religion that was introduced known as what? Rastafarianism. Yes. If you heard Bob Marley singing about hey you Rasta man,
that guy is
hey you European, Indian man, good. That's the issue. So they took these people, the blacks, into slavery,
yes.
And then all of a sudden, presently, you see them becoming, a threat to the Americans themselves,
and
to the white themselves.
their original intention was them to remain slaves. As slaves forever.
The original intention of thing is for them to be under their perpetual rule. For them the white to rule over them. So presently, the blacks are becoming something.
Yes.
To the extent that now the whites are now beginning to sense, just like the Egyptians were sensing, that if we allow these people to do what, to flourish in our country, they will eventually do what? Take dominion over us. Having seen the craftiness and the talents that
blacks,
yes, the brighter future of the blacks, then they started do what?
Killing them.
This issue of what? Racism. Actually, it started so many years ago. People like Martin Luther King Jr. Have spoken about issues like this before. But now, yes, Leopold Sedar Singo have seen all those things and they spoke about it. But now it has become so obvious that they are now killing blacks like what? Animals on the street, daily basis. But the issue is, remember one thing. When Pharaoh started, maltreating the Israelites in Egypt, God sent a liberator, and that was who? Moses. This same Moses that was giving birth during the moment that an order was placed for what? Made children to be killed. This Moses that was giving birth in Egypt became the liberator. So,
assisted by
Aaron, his cousin. Now, the issue is that when these tribulations were becoming too much, God had to send a liberator. Yes. Even when Moses was sent there, Pharaoh was showing some kind of, stubbornness. He was hardened-hearted. So at the end, there was a particular penalty he received. Most of his citizens were killed. The Egyptians were killed. Even his children, some of them were killed. A lot of penalties, plagues.
A lot of the citizens died.
Exactly. They experienced a lot of plagues. Exactly. So presently, what we actually the blacks are canvassing is that if the Americans will not allow the blacks to flourish in their own country, because the blacks did not go there willingly. They were the one that took them into slavery. Just like the Israelites as well the Egyptians as well both the Israelites as slaves. So we to the blacks, I'm saying which because I'm also a black.
Exactly.
Yes,
of course,
and I'm canvassing for justice. We are canvassing for justice against the death of George Floyd and other blacks that have suffered racism in America and other countries. Yeah. So if the whites will not allow the blacks to flourish in their own land, they should expect the wrath of God. If not it may not actually be the wrath of God, but the wrath of the blacks. Because one day we must rise against them. If they will not allow the blacks to flourish in their own territory.
Even this massive protest is a very good sign for them.
It's a very good step. It's a very good step. Just that they could envision that the blacks have a lot of potentials, that they may overthrow them. If they will not allow the blacks to flourish in their own country, one day they should get ready and expect our own wrath, our own visits.
All right, thank you, dear viewers out there. What you are trying to say here is that if America would not allow the blacks to gain their freedom, they will experience the wrath of God as Pharaoh experienced, or the Egyptian experienced in the time of Pharaoh. So let the black Africa allow the black. Let America allow the blacks to gain their freedom. Otherwise, they will experience the wrath of God.
Because black is just a color and not